if the U.S. vetoing this call for a humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza actually stops the UN from being able to uh, create a ceasefire in Gaza, it shows that the UN has very little power and that the United States has all the power if their veto or their acceptance allows the UN to go through with anything, because when it comes to the Israeli government, you're always going to veto anything that goes against the benefit of the Israeli government, because the US is controlled by a bunch of Christian Zionists that want to see the Israeli government be there so that the biblical end times can happen. All they care about is seeing the end of the world.
En contra. Abstenciones.
The people of Gaza are looking into the abyss. The international community must do everything possible to end their ordeal. The eyes of the world and the eyes of history are watching.
We do not support calls for an immediate ceasefire. This would only plant the seeds for the next war, because Hamas has no desire to see a durable peace.
This war
This just tells a lot about the United States government. They pretend to care about the innocent Palestinians dying in Gaza, but they will still support the Israeli government committing a genocide against them. They pretend to care about uh, human rights abuses while supporting allies that commit human rights abuses. The United States is one of the biggest hypocritical governments, and this is one reason why we shouldn't allow the UN to be controlled by the US. It should be one nation, one vote. If majority of the nations vote for a ceasefire, well, there should be a ceasefire.
is part of the assault to end the Palestinian people as a nation and to destroy the question of Palestine. If you do not share this objective, you must stand against the war.
Following the atrocities of October 7th, Israel committed itself to the elimination of Hamas's capabilities for the sole reason of ensuring that such horrors could never be repeated again.
But killing a bunch of innocent people does not stop the repetition of terrorism against your nation. Any nation that kills a bunch of innocent people are going to create people that dislike that government because, oh, look, this government just bombed my house and killed half my family. I'm going to be mad at that government. I'm not going to love that government just because they claim that there were terrorists in my house.
And if Hamas is not destroyed, such horrors will be repeated.
We are all aware that Israel began its military operations in response to the brutal terror attacks unleashed by Hamas and other Palestinian armed groups on 7 October. I unreservedly condemn those attacks, and I'm appalled by the reports of sexual violence. There is no possible justification for deliberately killing some 1,200 people. At the same time, the brutality perpetrated by Hamas can never justify the collective punishment of the Palestinian people.
Yeah, because the Israeli officials, they always want to try to justify their own atrocities against innocent people because of what Hamas did. But committing a war crime against innocent people, it can never be justified by somebody else that had did something to you. I mean, it would be like if um, somebody murdered an entire family, and then the cops killing three random family members of a different family because of that. And it's like, how does that justify anything? You're not stopping crime or murder by killing innocent people. You're just making people mad at you.
And while indiscriminate rocket fire by Hamas into Israel and the use of civilians as human shields are in contravention with the laws of war, such conduct does not absolve Israel on its own violations.